Welcome to Asta Global News. It's August 6, 2025. Today, sweeping U.S. tariff measures, diplomacy with Russia, devastating wildfires in Europe, and more. Let's dive in. Trade shock, tariffs expand. Starting August 7th, all EU imports face a flat 15% tariff, with Canadian goods hit at 35%. This new protectionist policy covers everything: autos, pharma, electronics, agriculture. Global businesses warn of inflation spikes and supply chain disruption. In response, Japan is preparing emergency funds for its auto export sector, while Malaysia struck a $150 billion LNG and tech supply deal with Washington to mitigate exposure. South Korea activated an export support task force, urging companies and SMEs to pivot markets quickly. U.S.-Russia diplomacy moves. Special envoy Steve Witkoff spent 3 hours with President Putin in Moscow. According to the U.S., the meeting advanced plans for a Ukraine ceasefire framework, though Washington has not ruled out secondary sanctions if progress lags. Kremlin sources describe the talks as frank and constructive, though some caution that the window for diplomacy remains tight. Trump has publicly called the opening promising, but analysts say tensions remain at a low simmer. Gaza's humanitarian collapse. Aid crossings became deadly once again in Gaza. Over 110 Palestinians killed today, attempting to receive food and water. The total death toll since the conflict began has surpassed 60,000. UN relief agencies warn of escalating famine. Amid outrage, Canada announced plans to formally recognize Palestinian statehood, joining a growing coalition of Western nations demanding urgent ceasefire and aid access corridors. U.S.-China trade deal hangs in balance. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent said negotiators from both nations now see the makings of a deal as they approach the August 12th deadline. Wall Street and global markets are watching closely. Any breakdown could spiral into renewed tariff battles. Talks focus on industrial subsidies, export controls, and technology access. A successful outcome would stabilize supply chains. Failure could deepen uncertainty in a fragile global economy. Seismic alert, volcano and quake event. Russia's Shivelut volcano erupted, shooting ash columns up to 10 kilometers high. Hours later, a 6.7 magnitude earthquake struck the Kuril Islands. Tsunami warnings were issued across Japan, Alaska, and coastal Russia. None produced destructive waves. Emergency responders credit well-established alert systems and evacuations for no reported casualties, but scientists warn of possible aftershocks and ash pollution risk. Markets feeding on Fed hope. Asia markets rose modestly today. Sensex and Nikkei up 0.6%, Shanghai plus 0.8%, following U.S. data showing softer payrolls. Investors ramped up bets on a 94% chance of a September Fed rate cut, while safe havens like gold retreated slightly. Meta and Nvidia earnings outperformed, anchoring bullish sentiment even as inflation fears loom under looming trade disputes. Free speech and emission rulings. In Mali, former PM Moussa Mara was arrested for posting criticism of the military regime on social media, an arrest prompting concern from international rights groups over freedom of expression. Meanwhile, the EU Court of Justice ruled Volkswagen remains potentially liable for consumer damages in the emissions scandal, even if testing protocols were technically met. This could reopen legal claims across the bloc. Climate chaos in China. Southern Taiwan logged more than 350 millimeters of rain in just 12 hours, its wettest August day since records began. Floods in Guangdong displaced 5,900 and killed 4. Authorities issued the highest-level black alert, closed schools and airports, and mobilized over 2,000 storm response teams. Meteorologists warn shifting monsoon patterns may worsen as global warming intensifies. Asteroid flyby and fast-spinning Earth. Asteroid 2025 OT7, roughly 170 feet wide, made a near pass today, closer than the Moon. It's harmless, but NASA points to the close flyby to emphasize gaps in planetary defense funding. Meanwhile, today is one of the shortest days of the year, with Earth spinning 1.3 milliseconds faster than usual, a nuance tracked by geophysicists studying the planet's core rotation. That's your update for August 6, 2025, from trade turbulence to natural disasters, from legal flashpoints to markets and planetary mechanics. Subscribe to Asta for global clarity delivered every day. Thank you for watching.